Zebec's partnership with AllUnity is bigger than we thought. Hey, listen, everybody. Rue has a solid outline that we're going to get into. This is a series. It covers so many things. So if this is your type of thing, all we ask is that you consider smashing the like and subbing to both channels. Rue, what do you have for us today?
What's up, guys? So this is really like a part two to one of the videos I made a couple days ago, which this founder of Zebec, Sam Tapalia, he liked the video and he shared a short that I made of the video. So shout out to Sam for doing that. Let me share my screen here really quickly. And in this video, we talk about how Zebec has been added to a Bloomberg index, okay? So take that, fudders. Zebec is added to a Bloomberg index, which we're going to show you here coming up in just a little minute here. But here, I just want to share the video so you guys can see it on my channel. Definitely come over and like and subscribe. We're very, very close to 8,500 subscribers. I'm loving it. Thank you guys for all the growth. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But you can see here, we have Zebec, is it really happening? Where we go over, NatPay, we go over Zebec being added to a Bloomberg index, and is ISO confirmed? Now, this is, like I said, this is kind of a part two to that video, in that I wanted to look more into AllUnity, okay, and the AllUnity partnership. And I just want to share that with you guys right here. So Deutsche Bank's AllUnity stablecoin selects Zebec as its global payroll partner. And you can see here down in the corner, AllUnity investors, we have Flow Traders, Galaxy, which I found out is a Bloomberg partner. If you're familiar with Bloomberg, he kind of runs New York. He has a lot of power in New York. The Bloomberg family has a lot of power in New York. So Bloomberg is an actual, Galaxy is a Bloomberg company, which we'll go into in a second here. And DWS is a subsidiary of Deutsche Bank, okay? So all of this comes together, right? So now let's look at the news here from the Bloomberg index, in which Zebec is included in that index. Huge, huge, huge news, because again, check out the episode. This means certain things about Zebec. In order to be included into this index, it means they're not a security. It means a lot of other things, which we go over in that video previous here. But one of the things you can see here, it says Bloomberg is a trademark and service mark of Bloomberg Finance. Galaxy is a trademark and service mark of Galaxy Digital Partners, used under the license of Bloomberg Finance and its affiliates, including Bloomberg Index Services Limited, as administrator of the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index. So Galaxy is a subsidiary of Bloomberg Finance, so hence it's connected to Bloomberg. So very, 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 very huge news for Zebec. Gives it a lot of legitimacy. But in that, we can see that really makes sense, because if Zebec is a partner already here with Deutsche Bank's AllUnity stablecoin, right, and a global partner for Deutsche Bank, we already know that they have clarity. We already know that they have legitimacy, and so does Galaxy, because they're partners with them on this, right? So that all makes sense. Now, I was looking into the AllUnity stablecoin, and in that stablecoin, we kind of get a clue with the AllUnity. This is a stablecoin that unites all of the Euro stablecoins. And shout out to our guy, Jesse from Apex Crypto Insights. One of the things he said that XRP cures is the dependence on the dollar. If you depend on the dollar, the whole world's currencies depend on the dollar. That's a problem, in that the dollar has a lot of debt on it. It impacts the entire world because they're dependent on the dollar. So this AllUnity stablecoin for Euro, in the Euro, makes the Euro depend less on the dollar, okay? And gives all the Euro stablecoins a kind of centralized point to come out and then interact with the central bank, which i.e. is Ripple, because Jesse's also told us Ripple is like the global, the RTS, so like the real-time
RTGS, real-time gross settlement system. There you go.
Real-time gross settlement system. There we go. There we go. Real-time gross settlement system. Real-time gross settlement system. Let's go. So knowing that this is everything that XRP cures, and that, okay, less dependence on the dollar, and now kind of a private euro stablecoin, which we're going to get some clarity from Grok here coming up here right now. So I was looking at this, and then it says here, we'll read from the top here. In the context of AllUnity, likely a reference to the joint venture in mentioning, DWS is a founding partner alongside Flow Traders, a liquidity provider, and Galaxy Digital, a crypto-focused firm, which we know is a Bloomberg company, announced in December 2023. AllUnity is a BaFin-regulated e-money institution. This is a German regulated thing, which we're going to hear later too. E-money institution that issues Euro AU or EURAU, a fully collateralized euro-dominated stablecoin compliant with the EU's MiCA regulations. So this is also the beginning of Zebec being MiCA compliant, okay, which they are. It also aims to bridge traditional finance, TradFi, and blockchain by enabling secure, real-time on-chain settlements for payments, tokenization, and DeFi applications. As of July 2025, AllUnity secured its e-money license from Germany's BaFin, and by October 2025, Euro AU expanded multi-chain support via Chainlink's CCIP for better interoperability. And just to clarify that, that's interchain with the Chainlink, but with XRP, it's for the central banks. So Chainlink CCIP will go interchain, but when they need to ultimately settle with the central banks, they have to go to the XRP for that, okay? Just to clear that up for everyone. DWS contributes its expertise in the portfolio management, regulatory compliance, and product structuring to ensure Euro AU's stability backed one-to-one by Euro reserves, and appeals to banks and fintechs and enterprises. This positions AllUnity as a sovereign European alternative to the USD-dominated stablecoins like USDT or USDC, emphasizing privacy, identity verification, and 24/7 liquidity, which is something, again, we know that the XRP ledger provides. So ultimately, it's telling you right there in what it provides that it's ultimately going back to the XRP ledger. Recent discussions from AllUnity CTO Peter Grossoff highlight how solving digital identity and transfer privacy could drive mass adoption, aligning with DWS's role in legitimizing crypto with TradFi. Now, we're going to play an interview from Simon Babakhani and the CEO of AllUnity, and it's going to kind of just support everything that we're talking about here. We're going to start kind of in the middle of the interview, but definitely go on Zebec's X site and listen to the whole thing. Let me get it queued up here, and we'll start right about here, okay? After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. I have many friends earning money every day trading futures on BTCC. It's simple. Even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you, and you'll earn according to his trades. So even if you don't know how to trade, there's a way to make money. Earn some extra money on BTCC. Of course, you should learn how to trade. Links to the Patreon are in the description. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to use a VPN. It's a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn extra money, you can store it in your Decent wallet. Decent wallet is safe, easy to use, and it allows crypto swaps within the wallet. It's a wonderful product. You can get the discount by using the link. The only way to get the discount is to use the link. The link is popping up in the upper right-hand side of your screen. You can also get free shipping. Pick up your Decent wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet, they may be at risk. So pick up one today. So let's get ready, and we're going to play this now.
Now, if you're a stablecoin provider and you want to work with these global institutions, what are the key criteria that global institutions look for when partnering with a company like AllUnity?
I think predominantly, let's say, a starting point is they need to stick in their environment. That means they have a house bank relation for the last 20 or 30 years. They don't want to ruin that relation because maybe they want to use efficient ways of stablecoin payments, but they have other financing needs and they still need the house bank to do so. So they don't want to freak them out. So the house bank needs to provide them with a wallet infrastructure and custody services. But then also they need to be able to process the stablecoin. So the stablecoin needs to be embedded into the treasury management system so that they seamlessly can use the stablecoin for their internal payments. And where it's a little bit like tipping the toe into the cold water, getting used to it, and then maybe opening up their channels for production and actually customer services.
Got it. Well, you mentioned wallet infrastructure. I know you made a big announcement this week as one of your wallet partners. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think that for us, naturally, availability is what makes the difference. You need to be available on all channels that are available where stablecoins are needed. You need to be available where all, say, customers are connected via wallets or wallet infrastructure. And yeah, having such a thing together with Privy and then the entrance into Stripe and Bridge naturally is for us a big step because it opens up the channel to wide adoption of customers connected. And ultimately, accessibility of a stablecoin is what makes the difference.
Where do you see the AllUnity stablecoin fitting in within the Stripe ecosystem in the future?
I think we can play a role as a dominant Euro stablecoin. I think that Stripe is perfectly positioned outside the Eurozone, but global trade is not stopping at borders. So you need to be able to process all relevant fiat currencies globally. And Euro is this second or third, depending on how you count, largest reserve currency. And for a lot of trade finance transactions, it's the second largest. So you need to be able to process US dollar, but also Euro transactions. And Stripe is very well positioned to offer services in that regard.
And it's very applicable in the payroll space as well, as we serve many US institutions right now. And many of them have actually asked us about European payments, which we've not been able to support to this date until, of course, we complete our MICA registration, which we're in process of finishing very soon, and finding a Euro-regulated stablecoin as well to work with. So we're very excited to now be able to expand salary payments from the US into Europe and also work directly with European institutions that may want to pay people in global payments outside of Europe as well.
That's a fantastic step because it is very, let's say, easy for corporates to get into stablecoin usage. They can do it for a limited number of employees to start with. A lot of global corporations have also labor force and maybe in high inflation rate countries or where there's differences, how the monetary treatment is. And so using stablecoins for payments is a perfect means to get into that market, is a perfect means to get into stablecoins at all. With this combination that the two of us offer, we can offer a fully fledged solution. And with your bridge into the US, again, for global corporations, if you really want to, let's say, embrace that, you have to be able to process it in the whole core organization. And again, that doesn't stop at the border.
It's exactly the way we view it as well. I mean, for us, payroll is just getting our foot in the door with large institutions. And from there, we can expand into remittance, to card products. Of course, we have a very successful pay card program in the US. We've discussed launching something like this in Germany as well with some of the tax rebates. So we're really excited to start working with some major European institutions and see where we can take this.
100%. And I think you're coming right at the right point in time because with the overall push into stablecoins, now all the corporates that we know, all the banks that we know, they are working on stablecoin processing. But actually, there is a barrier of entry. Because you need to change processes. And for payment services, it is a critical process, but it's not a production critical process. Right. So the adoption is actually not that big necessity-wise. And so for me, that's a perfect entrance.
We are in the early innings, but a lot has changed in a very short period of time. How do you see the future of this space with CBDCs coming into the mix, banks-backed stablecoins? Do you see this as an environment where multiple stablecoins can coexist, or is one going to dominate?
I think so. Firstly, today we have central bank money, deposit money, commercial bank money, and e-money, and just tokenizing that doesn't make one of these instruments go away. So technically speaking, yes, you will see CDBCs, you will see deposit token, commercial bank token, and you see e-money tokens, so stablecoins. I think that stablecoins are the most flexible way, especially when you start to add information, when you start to add identity, maybe status, maybe approvals to that one. So from my point of view, stablecoins will ultimately be a dominant factor in that, although you will have a healthy mix. So for me, this is really, stablecoins will make the ultimate difference to that one. It might still take a bit for all the organizations to adopt to the technical requirements, but ultimately that's it for me.
Well, the future is looking very bright for both stablecoin payments and global payroll. Thank you, Alexander, for joining us today. And I hope that the CBOS conference is very productive for AllUnity, as I'm sure it will be.
Thank you very much.
So that's huge. And one of the main things that Alexander said there was that Zebec or that AllUnity could be the dominant euro. Okay. And they will do that through this Stripe connection that they have. And again, one of the things that he mentioned was that this is a borderless thing, right? So this is something, again, that Jesse pointed out. If I show you guys the episode here, if I share this tab, definitely check out this episode, Zebec, Ripple, what's happening. In it, Jesse broke down Ripple, but Ripple in the context of Zebec, okay? So one of the things he mentioned there was that Ripple's not only cross-border, like the real way to think of it is cross-asset. But Alexander here of AllUnity is telling us, hey, stuff doesn't just stop at the border, right? So through Stripe, through this whole AllUnity connection here, they can reach Circle, USDC, and others. But ultimately, they're looking to be the dominant Euro stablecoin. Okay. And yeah, they can do that through the Stripe connection they have there. If you guys are not familiar with Stripe, Stripe is an investor in Stellar, and Stellar is also a longtime partner of Zebec. Okay. So let's go ahead and show you here. Let's go back to our Grok conversation. Okay. So what Euro AU actually achieves? A true digital euro controlled by the private sector, not the ECB, one-to-one backed by the euro bank deposits and short-term government paper. MiCA compliant, BaFin license, auditable reserves, usable 24/7 on blockchains while staying fully within the Eurozone's legal framework. So again, a bridge between TradFi and DeFi in euros. Right now, most on-chain liquidity is in USD. USDC, USDT dominate 90% of stablecoin volume. The Euro AU gives European banks, asset managers, and companies a Euro native tool to settle tokenized bonds, real-world assets, cross-border payments, and Forex trades instantly and on-chain without converting to USD first. Now, again, if you check out that episode that we had with Jesse, he was saying that the dependence on the dollar is one of the big problems that Ripple solves. We can see that right here with this AllUnity stablecoin. Now they won't have to depend so much on the USD, right? They won't have to depend so much on the USDC, okay? And it says it right here with number 3, reduces Europe's dependence on USD stablecoins. Today, European institutions often use USDC or USDT because there hasn't been a credible regulated euro alternative. EU or Euro AU and some competitors like Societe Generale's Euro CV, which we're going to tell you guys about in the next episode here, Circle's Euro C, etc., changes that. And they're hoping that you know, those two can kind of unite and come through Euro AU as a centralized point, and then from there move over to Ripple and the central banks. All using Zebec as the rails. Is the first step at rebalancing global stablecoin supply towards the euro. Okay, so we can see here they kind of show the bigger picture. All of these Zebec can work with. Okay, but we're focusing today on the euro, right? So Euro AU, Euro C, Euro CV. We got AllUnity through Deutsche Bank's DWS, Circle, and Societe Generale, which you'll see on the second video. But again, you got above the USDC, all of which these Zebec can work with, USDC, PayPal USD, and others. Okay, Freedom Dollar, we know Zebec works with. They work with I think USDG and others, right? Okay, so anything to add to that one, Max?
Actually, yes. What's important to recognize is what Rue just mentioned in regard to the whole idea of this your AU. So for one, I cover other coins and tokens like Clearpool. Clearpool has a pairing with Kraken for being able to buy, for example, the Cpool token with the euro. Another example is we both cover Swiftcoin. With Swiftcoin, you can buy Swiftcoin directly through Coinbase, either on a Coinbase wallet, et cetera, but the ability to do that with a United States dollar. From the evidence in the research that Rue is providing, this is going to provide yet another liquidity layer for Zebec, plain as day, through AllUnity. This is actually very major news that people aren't aware of. Any enabler of more liquidity means just that, bringing in more of that liquidity, which would increase the market cap, things that we like, the price per token, and so on. This is a major, major win. And if anything, we're going to expand more on the findings of what Rue presented in a video that will appear exclusively on my channel, but you want to add some more. Go ahead.
Yeah, and one thing to note, guys, is what Simon said here, where payroll is just the kind of foot in the door. So with this, they become Deutsche Bank's global payroll partner, but this also opens them up to remittances and more, payday loans, etc. So while we're focused on AllUnity and AllUnity kind of being this centralized compliance point for euros, also know this is just one step through the door for Zebec. Like Max says, it gets them a lot of liquidity, but not only with payroll, they can do remittances and other things there.
Yeah. In closing, I remember we did a collaboration with Rob's over course in Japan, obviously meeting Haro or Jasmine and so on, which is awesome. But one thing Rob did point out, he's just like, imagine, was there 10, 15 years down the line, maybe 20 years max, it's like our kids are going to say, wow, you guys actually got paid bi-weekly? Like, what's up with that? Think about what they're trying to solve here, paid by the second, and may sound silly now. It's like, oh, what's the big deal? Get paid by the second. Getting paid by the second is going to be very appealing with a lot of new things moving forward when it comes to embracing the technology is moving into Web 3. Because let's face it, Rue, we're like still in Web 2.6, 2.7, roughly. And again, onboarding Web 3. So again, if you listen to the entire outline, what is the code word for the day?
Code word for today is AllUnity.
Phrase. Yes, two words. AllUnity, and it lets us know if you listen to the entire thing. So again, a disclaimer for part 2 of this series, at least with collaboration with Rue and myself, that will appear exclusively on Maximus Crypto. This video is obviously exclusively with Black Root Investing. And then we do part 3, I believe that will also be on Rue's, and then there'll be another part, which is the final part, which is part 4, which will be back on Maximus Crypto. It's trying to incentivize people to actually look more into our platforms for crying out loud. So, but whatever the case be, glad to be back with Rue, and we appreciate you guys. We won't keep you any bit further. May God bless you all. We'll see you on the next one. Over and out.
Peace.
Peace.